What's happening, everybody? This is Big Temp with the Cave Cast. I am joined by Mr. Game Type Mike. I should have been using his name a long time ago, but you know,
That's all good, man.
everybody says, "Who's Big Mike?" I said, "Y'all know Game Type Mike? Yeah, yeah, we know him. Why you calling Big Mike?" I said, "I don't know."
I'm done.
Anyway, we are here to talk about something that has already been covered earlier today, but this is something that we thought we could possibly put our foot on and give it a little bit of insight from our point of view. And everybody knows that Joe Thuney was already traded earlier today. By the time you guys see this, it'll be a couple of days later. But this kind of caught everybody by surprise. I know it caught me by surprise. I don't know about you, Mike, but for me, it did kind of catch me by surprise. I knew that Veach was going to be cooking up something. I just didn't know what it was going to be. And to be honest with you, I don't mind the trade, but I'm also kind of curious. Okay, what are we getting ready to do? And just so everybody knows, the trade from the Chiefs for Tooney to the Chicago Bears. This is a for a 2026 fourth round pick. A 2026 fourth round pick. Uh, there's also, people who are saying, well, why did we do this? Why did we do this? What's the reason behind it? A lot of it is because of financial considerations. So the financial considerations and a little strategic planning, basically, also. A lot of it's because of the salary cap management that the Chiefs actually have to take care of. Tooney did carry a significant cap hit for the upcoming season. That is part of it. I will say that. By trading him, the Chiefs free up 16 million in cap space, aiding in roster flexibility and also future signings. So we have other guys that are going to need to be signed as well. There's also the emergence of younger talent that the Chiefs are trying to develop, and they have guys that they can keep on the roster who are going to be significantly cheaper than what Tooney is, right? The Chiefs have invested a lot in these younger players, such as Trey Smith and Creed Humphreys, who they have had great careers so far in Kansas City. I can't even knock it. So basically, that was part of it. Now, the impact for this on the Chicago Bears is that they also get a great offensive lineman to help protect their young QB, Caleb Williams. So, if I remember right, the Bears allowed a league high 68 sacks last season. This is definitely going to help them as far as protecting Caleb Williams. He's also a veteran, brings a lot of leadership to that locker room. Uh, but some people don't like this trade, and a lot of people gave this trade the grade on it. They gave the Chiefs a C plus, and they gave the Bears an A for it. The Bears do secure a top tier guard without sacrificing immediate high value assets, and the Chiefs, with this, like I said, it's a good thing for cap relief, but it does open a hole that, at left guard that was already shored up. But I understand we do have younger talent, guys like Sumataiya, guys like Ethan Driscoll. There's younger guys, Hunter Norzad, who are available that we've got to get in there and see if they work, right? So
I'm gonna be honest.
go
No, go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
I was just
No,
gonna
I
say
just,
that this does
no,
this trade reflects the Chiefs' focus on financial prudence, basically to make sure that they are not going to have to worry about not having enough money to do the things that they need to do. They want to operate this business the way that they've been doing. They don't have a lot of dead cap space, although with this trade they're going to save 16 million, but they're going to wind up holding on to that 10 million in dead cap space, dead cap money. So they're going to wind up holding on to that. They still got to do
which
some.
isn't
Yeah,
which
it's
isn't a
not.
whole lot, to be honest
No,
with you. Like,
it's not. But at the same time, it still helps them. They've got some other things that they can do where they can possibly restructure Mahomes, which we think they're going to have to do, restructure Chris Jones. And if they can do those two things and possibly get close to about 60 million, that helps them with the cap. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure, where we're heading as far as the draft. I think, with this now, this tells me okay, they're not going to go after a left guard and a left tackle in the draft. So they're going to take one of these guys that's already there and put him into that position at left guard. And the other thing
Bro,
is at left tackle,
Kingsley will be the guard. I'm trying to tell
yeah,
y'all this right
I
now.
think he will be too.
I don't even think this is worth. I don't even think that's worth even having a discussion. Unless he gets injured or something like that, God
Yeah,
forbid,
yeah.
he will be the left guard.
I think
So
this is an opportunity for him to actually prove himself because last year he was yanked so quickly after 2 games at left tackle, and he's such an athlete. I think this is where he actually would probably fit better in
I
this
think it'll be
system.
better. I think it'll be better for him even in terms of just getting his feet wet
Yeah,
because he doesn't have to do as much being a left guard, especially since he'll be right next to Creed as well.
yeah.
I
I
think
think
that
that's
could also help him. And who knows? Depending on like the left tackle situation, who knows? Like if he plays well at guard and he kind of gets his feet wet, who's to say they won't push him out to tackle at that point? Now that he didn't got his feet wet, he didn't got some reps in.
lots of
You know what I'm
snaps.
saying?
That always
Got
helps.
some snaps. That always helps, even though he's playing guard,
Yeah,
but he's on the field. So now you're getting his confidence up. So
yeah,
who's to say that
exactly.
still doesn't happen? So
I think it does help.
yeah.
I say this all the time. The only way you're going to get a guy to actually get comfortable on the field, start understanding what coverages are out there, and understanding, hey, who's coming, who's going to fucking, try to, you know, stunt, whatever. This gives him an ability to actually be out there and recognize certain things. And with him being able to play right alongside Creed now, this will also help him, right? Because Creed is a fantastic center. So I think it would help. I think it would. And he'll be able to show off some of that athleticism that he has as an offensive lineman, which I've been
Bro,
saying for this whole
listen,
time that he was a fantastic athlete. Fantastic.
Kingsley has Kingsley has the talent. Like people were saying he was bad, and look, I get it. He didn't play great
Yeah.
in that game. Here's the thing, though. It wasn't necessarily because he's just bad.
Yeah.
I just think his footwork wasn't there. But that's a technical thing that can be fixed. It's not like he doesn't have the ability to do it because I
Oh
think he
yeah.
does. I think he does. Like athletically, he can do it. It's just about getting his technique right.
I think you're
Because
right.
the thing that he was getting beat on, he was just getting beat around the edge.
Yeah.
That was really what it was. If he just gets his feet right, comes off the line, he's good, bro. That's what I'm saying. So like, I think he just needed some time. I think that's all it really comes down to be honest with you.
Well, on to the next subject, just so you guys know that uh, the combine this past week, I really enjoyed it. A lot of people, I don't know how many, actually watched all of it. I tried to watch most of it, but I
I
did
watched
have,
what I wanted to.
yeah, I watched, I watched some of it, but I did watch a lot of it. And the combine actually gave you a little bit of insight into, as far as the talent that is out there in this year's draft. And I will say, I am thoroughly convinced that the talent pool for this year's draft is mostly in uh, defensive players first, mostly defensive linemen, then running back, then wide receivers. I think offensive line is close to the bottom. I just I don't know about offensive line. There's not a lot to choose from this year as far as the offensive line goes. But one of the
But
things that I what
just real quick, I just piggybacking off what you just said. I don't necessarily think it's because these guys aren't good or have potential. You know what I think it is that we expect, especially offensive linemen. See, the thing with sports these days, and this is just not football, this is with most sports, especially basketball and football,
yeah.
is that when you pick these guys in the draft, these teams are expecting these players to come in right away. It'd be difference makers.
Yeah,
With offensive linemen, sometimes that takes a minute. It takes those guys a couple years, maybe 2 years, maybe a year to
yeah.
get acclimated into being what the team envisioned them being when they drafted them. So the problem is that I don't think it's necessarily that these guys or there's not a lot to pick from. I think the expectation of all these players is that when they get drafted, they need to be immediate um, impact players when they get drafted, especially for teams that are contending. You know what I'm saying? So I
I can
think that's
agree with
more of it.
that.
I think that's more of it than anything because, like, a lot of these times, these young players don't have a big window to prove themselves. We've seen that. We literally just watched it.
Here's my question to you.
James, he was,
Here's
hold
my,
on, think about it. He was a second round pick.
yeah, yeah.
Benched him in 2 games.
Here's the problem with what.
But the only reason, hold on, just real quick, the only reason why they did that though is because of the position that the Chiefs are in, right?
Well, yeah, that's
The
exactly
three
right.
P, yeah. So the 3P, I get it, right? And like I understand why they did it because the expectation and what their goal was season is it was kind of an anomaly because not all teams are going. They weren't chasing history like the Chiefs were. So I
No,
get why the expectation was he was jump
y'all
started.
have
He
to
had to get
excuse me. I
going
got
quick.
dogs acting crazy right now. Every time
So
the
that's the
doorbell rings.
that's the only thing I would say because like I said, we've just seen it, for example. So that's my only thing.
Well, here's the deal. Number one, Sumatai was in a situation where, like you said, because of the position with the player having to come in and try to prove himself in a three-peat year, that sucks. That
Yeah,
sucks.
exactly.
So, number
And
two,
I think that was the major thing with that for
yeah,
sure.
number two, when it comes down to it, the left tackle situation is really hard to really gauge how a player is going to perform once he gets in the NFL. Okay,
That's true.
especially because every player is faster and stronger. And one of the things that I think that I don't know, but maybe it's just me. I think that the evolution of the defensive ends and the defensive tackles has changed faster than it has for the offensive line as far as these players, right? You think about it. The left tackle is taking on a guy who's most of the time about 6'3" to 6'6", probably around 246 pounds to about 267 to 270. Phenomenal athlete, great bend a lot of times, has super long arms to
And
keep
usually
the player,
faster.
yeah, to keep the player off of him, right? To keep the left tackle off of him, right? So once he gets his arms inside that player's chest, it's over with, right? So these are the things you're having to deal with. So to me, I think that's part of the issue is that the defensive tackles or defensive ends are actually evolved faster as far as what people are looking for, what works, and it's hurting the left tackle because they haven't caught up to that stage to kind of counteract it yet. Just a thought. Doesn't mean it's right.
Hey,
Just a thought.
do you think it's because of like so you know how what we typically look for in in an offensive tack or a left tackle? Do you think that needs to be changed now because of that? Like the
I mean,
norm, like the norm in what you would look for in a tackle shouldn't necessarily be the same how it has been without throughout NFL history. Maybe it kind of needs to change because you know what they always say with a tackle. It needs to have long arms. He needs to be this. He needs to be that. He needs to be this. But
yeah.
like you said, with these defensive end and these defensive ends, I mean, you might have to kind of reevaluate that a little bit. You know what
The
I'm
only
saying? Like,
thing the only thing with that is that anytime a guy has short arms in the league at left tackle, we have
to be fair, I wasn't
verified.
necessarily just talking about that though.
I
Like,
know
I
that.
can understand. I can understand the arm length thing. I think that's a.
Yeah.
I think that's valid. But like
I
in
I
terms of
think,
other things, you know.
but I also don't think a left tackle needs to weigh 300 pounds. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just saying, if that's the case, why not have a guy who's about 275, 6'5", 275, speedy, got great feet, hips are great, long arms, right? And he can actually keep up to a point where he can keep these guys off him. Now, like I said, this is just a thought. Doesn't mean
It
it's
depends on what kind of offense you're running too, though, don't it?
yeah.
Because like
I mean, if you're running
if
a
you're more of
power
a run
offense,
based, yeah, if you're more of a run based team, you want a bigger guy.
yeah, if you're running a power offense, yes, you want a bigger guy. But if you're more of a quick out, quick pass game kind of player or quick pass game offense, do you really need that guy to be 315 to 330 pounds? I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm not a scout. You know, I'm just asking the question.
Bro,
So
I'm looking and there's only like one in the top 20. There's one dude that's like barely close to 300 pounds, and
barely
that's not even
close.
just tackles. That's just across the board on offensive linemen.
Yeah,
Like
I'm just I can't.
most of them are at least 310 or above at
Yeah,
majority.
that's why I said it's just a thought. It doesn't mean that that's right. But I'm looking at Josh Sweat, right? What he was able to do and how he's made a name for himself, right? Josh Sweat is not a huge guy. Now he's tall and he's long and he's fast, right? And sometimes I think speed is what you use to negate speed, right? Speed kills. That's what they say. But what if you had a guy who was just as quick at that position? Now the problem is that what they'll do is on the defensive side they'll send more than one guy at that guy at the same time, So now he's got to be a little bit bigger to be able to take on, two guys coming at him, maybe trying to stunt on that same side. You never know. Like I said, it's just a thought.
Right.
Doesn't mean doesn't mean anything. It's just me thinking out
You're
loud.
right though. You're right though because think of somebody like Abdul Carter or James Pierce Jr.
Like I said,
Those
they're
dudes
getting
are athletic.
faster.
Those dudes are athletic freaks.
Yeah,
They're
they're getting
not
faster. They're more athletic. Uh,
that
uh,
James Pierce and Abdul Carter just both ran a 4.48.
yeah, that's linebacker numbers or safety
That is
numbers.
that's running back numbers.
That's what I'm saying. Think about
That
this.
is insane. That
So
is insane for
you
an
got a
edge
guy
rusher.
you got a guy on the edge who's able to make that kind of snap, twitch. Bam, he's off the line. Now this left tackle has got to be able to adjust to that, right? He's got to be able to kick back, make this movement. He's got to be quick. Well, most big guys don't have quick feet like that.
But that's why it's so hard. This is why I always said that, like, because people talking about Deech getting, him not being able to get a left tackle, and like, I get it, but at the same time, this is why the left tackle position is the second most valuable position in football.
Yeah, you're right.
Quarterback,
You're right.
second most valuable position in football. Not the right tackle, not the center, not especially not guard. Tackle, bro. The left tackle position. This is why those dudes get paid so much. When you're good, or even
Yeah.
if you're decent, we just saw Larry Jackson get like 3 year 80 something million.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So
he's okay.
yeah, but
He's
that's the thing.
great.
He's a big guy. He's gonna, and they run a power offense. They run a power offense. So yeah, you want a bigger guy there. Like I said, I don't know. This is just me thinking out loud, but I do know the Chiefs have to go and get a left tackle. Now,
Now,
where they're gonna get him from, I don't know. Do I
listen,
think they're gonna?
I was just watching RGR. They was talking about trading that 31st pick, and next year that fourth round pick, and then on something else on top. I was like, look, y'all,
No, there's not a guy. Listen, there's not one
that's
guy
not a
in this
dude.
draft.
It's not worth it, man.
No,
I'm
there's
sorry.
not one guy in this draft. I don't care what RGR says. I don't care what.
I didn't agree with
I
it
don't care
either.
what. I don't
And
care
shout
what
out to RGR
any.
because I like them, but I
I
don't
do
agree.
too.
It
But
wasn't.
I'm saying
It was locked
there's.
on Chiefs that it was. That's what it
I
was.
don't care who it is. I don't care. There's not one guy in this draft at the left tackle position I would give up 3 picks for. Not a one.
Ooh,
Not a one.
not a first and a fourth.
No. You want me to give up 3 picks?
Insane.
I'll give you a 7th round pick and a 5th round pick. That's what I will give you. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. If I'm giving up a pick, no, I'm not saying.
You're talking
I'm
about
not
on
saying.
top of. Are you talking about on top of the 31st pick? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. I'll put it like this: if I'm going to give swap places with you at 31 to move up, right, and you want other compensation for it, I'll either give you a 5th round pick or I'll give you a 7th round pick. I'm going to probably start with the 7th round pick, but I'm not giving you, both of those. I'm
Second
not
and a
get
fourth,
no,
a
not
first, fourth,
no,
and then another pick is insane.
no. There is not a left tackle in this draft. I would say is worth that. Not a one. No, it's not. It's not. Listen, that's where desperation creeps in. If you do that, guess what you're telling everybody else in the league? Oh, the Chiefs are desperate.
And not only
They're,
that, who you got to think about who's going to even do the trade in the first place.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
another thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's guys that I like in this draft, but not where I'm giving up those kind of picks. That kind of
I'm gonna be
draft
honest with
capital?
you. I'm
No.
gonna be honest with you. Not only that, look, y'all. So this is the thing with Chiefs Kingdom that I gotta stress to y'all. We're not winning the Super Bowl every single year, y'all. It's not
No.
realistic. It's
No.
just
But the
not.
but the
If we,
goal should be
I agree.
to
They have
go
to
to AFC Championship, and
championships at the
then
minimum.
you yeah, and then you give yourself the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl, right? That's the goal is to get to the AFC Championship game.
And I agree. But this thing where it's just like, let's say we don't go to the Super Bowl next year, right?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, y'all.
No,
Like
but
it's
they'll
not.
make
I
they'll make
promise
a
you.
big
I
deal out of it.
promise you. Listen,
They'll
I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. I want us to win every year. Are we
of
going
course.
to? No.
Yeah.
But even if
We have to
we
be.
don't, it's not the end of the world. And this is the thing that I like about it because after this year, after this coming year, the Chiefs are going to have so much money. Like because Kelsey more than likely will retire,
Yeah.
and then you got Taylor situation, he'll be off the books too. Like they're gonna have money still.
We'll
And
see
so,
we'll see what happens, and
you know,
that's
I'm just
I
saying,
think
man, like
I think
people
that's
it's not the end of the world, y'all. It's just
I
not.
think that's what people are forgetting is that we're looking at the future. Getting rid of Thuney, we had to do it now. Here's the funny thing: can you guys name the last time a left guard
Got a fourth round pick
got
for
a
him
4th round pick for him
at 32 years old?
at 33 years old?
Yeah, I think it hasn't happened since like 2012 or something like that.
That's
Last
saying
my
something.
thing.
What the Chiefs were able to do by getting this pick, as far as the 4th round for 2026, is they gave themselves the opportunity to get a pretty good high pick for a guy that, and for a position that most of the time does not warrant a 4th round pick. Usually maybe a 5th or a 6th, but to get a 4th out of him,
There was dudes saying we should have got like a third or a second. I'm just like,
look,
again,
you might
y'all
have
are
done that.
being unrealistic. You're being unrealistic. You would have did
Yeah,
that 4 years ago.
you might have been able to do that with
Oh
Trey
yeah,
because of his age, but not with
I can see
Tooney.
that.
Getting Tooney out of there and then getting the cap clearance situation, plus getting a 4th round pick, that's a win. It's a win. I know it sucks, but it is a win. You got to remember, we've got young guys on this team that need opportunities to prove themselves. Hunter Norzad, Kingsley Sumataiya, uh, what's the other guy? CJ, or what's his name? I can't think of his damn name. I just had it up the other day. Uh, but Ethan Driscoll. I mean, these are guys that
Talking
need
about
to
CJ
be.
Hansen.
Yeah,
That's who he's
CJ
talking
Hansen.
about.
Yeah, they have other guys that need opportunities. Yeah, and the only way you can find out if they're gonna work is if you get them snaps. That's the only
That's
way.
a fact. And
So
this is why that's why I was stressing about that Kingsley pick because yeah, people say that the offensive line or in this draft class aren't that great, but these dudes got to play. You got to give them some reps, man.
yeah, you have to.
Everybody can't come in the league. That's why I tell everybody when it comes to any position, even at quarterback, people talking about that. What's the dude from Chicago, Caleb Williams? Talking
Yeah,
about he didn't really like, they didn't, he didn't play like everybody was saying he did, but he
he
still
didn't
had a
have.
solid season.
Yeah, but he
He
didn't have
still
a
had a solid
line.
season.
He didn't have
Yeah,
a
and he,
line. He got sacked
he still had
68
a
fucking
really good
times.
and he
Yeah.
still had a really good season for a rookie. But everybody can't come in and be Mahomes
No.
or Joe Burrow. Work like
Yeah.
that for everybody. Even Mahomes had a city year.
Yeah. So
You know what
I
I'm
I
saying? So
I look at it like this. The most important position on the field we already know is Mahomes, right? That's taken care of. But the second position I think is the most important is defensive tackle. I mean, excuse me, not defensive tackle, left tackle. But it's going to be hard to find a guy in the draft that we can actually get unless we move up. And I don't want to break the bank to move up to get a left tackle. I think we
we
have
only
guys in
got
our
six
team.
picks.
Yeah, I think we
I,
have
I
guys on our
agree.
team that we can fucking put in that position and train them up. We can we can develop these guys, right? I mean, hell, if we want to really talk about it. We have Ethan Driscoll on the team who's 6'8", 320 pounds, long arms, right? If I remember right, I'd have to look at his measurables, but I think they said he had long arms. Why not give this guy a chance to see if he can work at left tackle? I
I
mean,
put it this way. I put it this way. You make a great point. So remember how we was talking about earlier? We was talking about the Eagles, right?
yeah,
So do we think Jordan Mailata would have turned out to what he was if they didn't give him a shot?
they had to give him snaps.
He was undrafted.
He was undrafted. So,
Like, and I'm not saying that somebody could turn out to be like Mailata. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying is that at some point you gotta let dudes play, man.
I'm kind of interested to see what Ethan Driscoll's
I was just going to look that up too.
what his measurables were,
Yeah.
because I think that this guy, you know, I think he could really play this position if you gave him a chance. You
What is
know.
the measures that people look for with the tackle?
Oh
Is it
yeah,
above
dude,
34?
he's
He's at
35,
35. Yeah,
almost
35.
36. So he's almost at 36, 35 and 3/8 inches is his measurables for his arm length. Why not give him a chance? I know he may not have the foot speed or he may not have the agility. We'll see. But from everything I understand, this dude is an athlete. He's an athlete. Why not try him? You have him available. And I'll be honest with you, maybe, just maybe, the Chiefs think he might be. Maybe if they're training him up underneath Humphreys, who's a vet, and if they keep Humphreys on a league minimum, maybe that helps them, right? Maybe that helps him. So why not do it? Why not give him the opportunity? Get those snaps in. See if you can develop this guy to a great left tackle. You never know. You put Kingsley next to him, who's a great athlete. Hell, we might have the comings of the next best line. I think Driscoll is a great candidate for the left tackle position. At least let's see where he's at, right? So I say we should do that. Uh, no matter what, if the Chiefs don't pick a left tackle in the first round, I think the next position of need is defensive line. But I also think there's one guy out there that when we did our mock draft last week, Mike really wanted him, and after he had his combine, I was really like, whew, well,
Yeah.
this guy is he
I will
might be
say,
in consideration to go ahead and be the first pick for the Chiefs. So, and we're talking about safety Nick Emenwari out of South Carolina. And this, guys, I know you guys, if you haven't watched it, you need to. I did get a guy who's he watches the show. He
hey,
said, "I'm with Mike. I believe Nick Emenwari is worth a first round pick."
by the way, I was on this dude before the combine,
Oh
so I
yeah,
don't want
yeah,
to
you
hear the
were, you
whole.
were.
I don't want to hear the whole. Oh, you only like him because he ran a 4.38. Nah,
No, Mike was on
I've
him
been
because
watching this dude all year. And whatever, bro.
we did our mock draft before the combine actually came to start anyway. As far as we had actually recorded it a day before the combine started. So and we did that, and Mike was on it already, talking about we need to pick this guy up. And when we did the mock draft, I was like, well, we need defensive linemen. But I'm gonna tell you, after I watched his combine, and I
Like
seen
that,
his
bro.
measurables, and I watched what he was able, his relative athletic score for each position
But you know what's crazy?
is
What's crazy about that
crazy.
though? To me, that's like a cherry on top
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
his RAS score, I already knew that was going to be high. I knew that. But this dude, literally, he can play. Like, he's a good cover. In zone,
I
play
believe it.
man to man. You could put him in the slot. You could put him at. You can bring him up in linebacker. Put him in the box, bro. You can do so much with this dude, and he can play all positions. You could put him in at corner if you wanted to. You
I
could
think
put
a
him in
guy.
at like the dude nasty man.
Do
I ain't
you
gonna lie.
realize that a guy like Nick Emenwari in a Spags defense? Oh my God, this
I'm
dude
gonna be
is
honest with you.
he's
I'm
a
gonna be honest with
problem.
you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even if they was to draft him, because like they still do have what three corner? They got three safeties right now. I think.
They do. Well, here's the deal. So Justin Reed, we don't know if Justin Reed is
Right.
going to
I
be re-signed,
I don't think it's coming back. I don't think it's
but you
coming
have
back.
Chamari Connor, who is really a
Right.
safety. They've been playing him at
You
a
got
little bit at
Cooks,
you know,
and
and
then you
then
got Hicks.
Hicks, and then you still have Cook, right? So we have
Hey,
four until they get rid of Reed. That would leave you with three. I don't
what
see
if you
them.
put him? What
I
if
don't
you put
see.
him in at linebacker? You could put him at linebacker.
You
You
could.
want to talk about if we lost Bolton,
Whoo.
put him at linebacker.
Whoo.
Could you imagine? Yo,
Do you think he
yo,
wants to? I mean, and the thing about it is, he could play coverage at that linebacker position. He
exactly.
he could definitely play coverage, and he can come downhill and hits. Man, look, I
And
think
he's
the
big
guy.
enough. That's the thing.
Yeah,
He's big enough. He's 6'3", 225 pounds or something like that.
yeah. So
He can do it.
I think you got to think about what if you were to get a chance. Let me ask you this: do you trade up to get Nick Emenwari if he's there?
No, no, no. Well, I guess it depends. I guess it depends on like how far you trading
Oh,
up.
I mean, think about it like this: do you trade a 31 pick, right, and swap with somebody who's at 20, and you
No,
give up, and then you give up a fourth round pick to get
nope.
him?
It's too much. No, I'm not doing that.
Hey man, I'm just asking because
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you
hey,
right now.
Chiefs Kingdom would explode if that happened, bro.
I'm gonna tell you this.
We
I
did
think
what? We, we did what, and we didn't get a tackle. Especially if
I,
we don't have a tackle by then,
yeah,
it'd be
but I
real
mean,
crazy.
I trust Veach enough to see that if he goes and does this, there's a reason behind it. That means that you're getting, like you said the last time, you're killing two birds with one stone. You can either play him at safety or you can play him at linebacker, right? And I don't say this very often, but I was wrong not to pick him in the mock draft because I just didn't know. But after I seen his combine performance, dude, if you wanted to play him at linebacker full time, this dude would be the best linebacker to fit into Spags' defense because
Bro,
he can come downhill and hit. He has great coverage ability. He would take much more pressure off of Tranquil. He would take much more pressure off of Leo Chanel. He would take much more pressure off of your safety, your
And
corners,
tight ends, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, tight
and the
ends,
tight ends would
he's a
fear this
tight end
dude.
nightmare.
He
He's
would
a
they would
tight
fear this
end
guy.
nightmare. Are you serious, bro? Listen,
I
y'all.
I think I think you could actually use this guy in that situation. Now, is he a little slight? Yeah, 225 pounds. But if you beef him up to about 230 to 235, I think you'd still be okay. I think he'd still have the speed.
Oh yeah.
He'd still have the coverage ability. He's got great instincts. I'm just saying, I like it. I do like it, and I wouldn't mind a trade. And this is just me because I've fallen in love with watching his tape. If you had the ability to trade for him and it was right there, I think you got to. I
Hey, you know
think you
what's
got to trade
crazy?
him. I think you got to
You
trade
know what's
for him.
crazy though? And like I've been doing a lot of mock drafts. A lot of mock drafts don't even have him going. They have him going late, either late first round or second
That,
round.
hey, and that's even better. That's even better because
Please
if he
do
could,
it. Please, listen, if he lasts to the second, oh my god,
yeah, if he lasts to the second, if he
with the
lasts
Chiefs
to,
pick, oh,
hey, what happens if he lasts to 31? If he lasts to 31, I cannot
you know
see
what's
this.
crazy?
I can't see
You
the
know what's
Chiefs
crazy
passing him
about
up.
that though? What if he was to last to like they got the 63rd and 66, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they get their defense. Let's say they get their defensive lineman. Let's say they get like a. I don't think Walter Nolan's gonna be there, but ooh, I
No,
would love. Yeah,
he probably
but
won't.
even like a Kenneth Grant or something like that. Let's say they get like somebody they like, right? They
Yeah.
get their defensive lineman, and he's still there. 53.
I've got people picking him at
That's
anywhere
a
between.
dream come true.
I've got people picking him anywhere between
Come true right there.
13 and 20. That's what I'm seeing. Anywhere between 13 and 20
You
is
know
where
what
he's.
they? You know what I hate though? This is why I hated that he did the combine, dog. Because like most of these dudes saying that they weren't paying this dude no attention. They didn't watch no film. They didn't
I
watch no
hadn't
games.
I
They
hadn't heard
saw
of
his
this
they saw
dude.
his combine. They saw his combine and was like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this dude until you said something 2 days before the combine, right? And so when I went and looked at him, I was like, damn. Okay, his tape is
You
nasty.
know
But then
why?
when I seen his combine, I was like, oh my god,
He
this
scored a perfect 10, dog.
man,
But you know why though? Because like South Carolina they got some athletes. So the reason why is because he got that receiver there. I think he's a
oh yeah,
sophomore.
yeah,
Nick Harbor. Nick
yeah,
Harbor.
yeah,
Hey, he's a freak too.
yeah. I
Six
just
five, runs like a 4.3, 4.2 or something like that,
yeah,
and he's big. So I was looking at him, and then one day I was just looking at the roster, and then I noticed dude, and then I had watched the game like a while back, and I was like, who is this safety they got? Like
man,
he is flying everywhere. And then like when I looked him up,
he's
I was like,
nasty.
this dude is 6'3", 100-some pounds, fast as hell. He put him in multiple positions. You ain't got to worry about him like being limited in that aspect. Like,
Yeah, like the
yeah,
last
man.
the last three the last 2 to 3 mock drafts I've seen have Nick Emenwari anywhere between 13 to 20. They got him going. One of them I seen him going to the Miami Dolphins at 13. The other one I seen him going to the Indianapolis Colts at 14.
Man,
I've
I seen one that took. I had the Bills taking him. I said, no,
well,
bro. He can't
yeah,
go. Listen, he can't go to the Bills, the Bengals, the Raiders, Eagles, Donkeys. Them five teams are off limits, y'all. Don't even think about doing it. He can
yeah.
go anywhere else.
I just know that it's gonna be intriguing. It's gonna be very interesting to see what the Chiefs actually do in this draft. And we're going to do another mock draft here probably this next coming week. We'll do another mock draft to see exactly what's happening and how things kind of, with the combine, how things look now, as far as who we would take, right? I had a conversation today as far as, the Chiefs and who they should pick at a running back because we do need a running back. I hate to say this. I know people are like, well, we have Pacheco. Listen, we need to keep Kareem because I don't know how well Pacheco is gonna actually, you know, how good he's gonna be this next coming year because, like I said, coming off that injury, he just didn't look the same, right? But no matter what, I think you have to go after a running back in this draft. And somebody, we were talking about it, and I said there's a couple of guys I would love to have in this draft at running back, and one of them, I would really like to have is Devin Neal out of KU. I think Devin Neal's a great running back. I think he would work great in that offense. Another running back I think I would love to have is Ollie Gordon. Now, Ollie Gordon didn't have a great this past year. He didn't have a great season, but Ollie Gordon is a problem. He is a problem. He's a very good back. But somebody said to me, Cam Scatterbo. I said no.
I'm good. I'm
Listen,
good. If we're gonna get a back like that, we might as well just go Ollie Gordon. Like
it's not a knock towards Cam Scatterbo. Here's the deal. He would not. I don't think he would work in this offense. This is a really quick twitch offense as far as that goes. And the problem is that they're not going to run Cam Scatterbo that way for him to be effective.
I'll be honest with you. We already have a Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah, you know who it is? It's Carson Steele.
Literally, and I'm not even trying to be funny.
That's what exactly.
We literally have a Cam Scatterbo, and I'm like, yeah, you could bring up about how he probably had a better college career. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But still, they're the exact same player, and actually, Carson Steele's bigger.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Bigger.
I truly believe that when it comes down to it, there is no reason for us to go and draft a guy like Cam Scatterbo when we have a Carson Steele who is exactly the same player. I think, in essence, you have to remember, we need a game breaker. We need a game breaker. It's nothing short of, a need. There's nothing else that we need. We need a guy who is a threat to take it to the house every single time he's got his hands on the ball, right? So no matter what, Cam Scatterbo would be a great piece, but we already have that piece. We don't need two players just like that. Pacheco, yeah, he ran a 4.37, but the problem that we have with Pacheco is that it's his style of running that gets him in situations where he's constantly hurt every season. He's been hurt every season.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, he ran a 4.37. He does not run like that on the field.
No, because
he does not run away from guys.
No, because it's like he's trying to.
Time, that's not the same.
Yeah, because it's like he's trying to. It's like he's trying to pound himself into the. As far as his legs, it's like he's trying to punish the ground, like he's just bam, 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 like when he's bringing those feet down. And me, as a former track guy, I ran track a lot, and the thing about it is, the one thing I understood about running is that it's about how fast you can get your feet back down on the ground, right? And the more force you exert into the ground, the less speed you take away from yourself, right? So when he runs, it's like he's trying to dig into the dirt. And I'm like, God, can you just let up a little bit? Shit. I'm just saying. So those are things that I watch for, and I like Pacheco, but like I said,
I love his mentality.
Yeah, his run style is a hindrance because he's hitting contact, and a lot of times there's contact that he can avoid, right? And a lot of times it's his vision. His vision is just not as good as I would like, and you would think over.
Not only that, he doesn't listen. I like Pacheco, and I think he'll still be good for us this year.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the
wiggle.
No, he doesn't have the wiggle. Like, yeah. He ain't got moves.
He tries.
He tries from time to time, but it's just not his game.
I can tell you like this. I'll tell
spin
you.
moves, no
Yeah, I'll
nothing.
tell you like
Just
this.
run straight and just back, just straight forward. That's
When
it.
Kareem came into the league, Kareem had that wiggle to him, right? He had that where he could make himself skinny. He could give a little juke. He could hurdle a guy. He could run him over. He had that portion, right? Those are different. Those are different types of running backs, right? And Pacheco just doesn't have that, right? He doesn't
I
have that.
mean, like you said, Devin Neal is a perfect example. Devin Neal's not. He doesn't have long speed. Like he's not.
No,
I don't think he's slow. And
he's
I,
not
like I said,
slow.
I think I know he didn't have like a crazy 40 time. I think he ran like a 4.5 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but I actually think part of that is because he got bigger compared to his previous
yeah.
college years. But thing with Devin Neal, why he's such a attractive prospect is because the dude's elusiveness is insane, despite his size, because he is a bigger back.
And his
But the
vision is
dude,
crazy.
yeah, his vision is nasty. You want to talk about making dudes miss,
Yeah,
dude, right there,
and that
and
and
that's why
that
he's able. But that's why he's able to get off those crazy runs.
yeah.
And
And
he's
the
not the
thing,
only one because Caleb Johnson is the same way. Not a very fast guy. As a matter of fact, he's big. Like Caleb
yeah,
Johnson is huge,
yeah,
but his footwork, he's got a little wiggle to him too.
yeah.
That's the reason why those kind of guys are getting looked at high
The,
for the running backs.
those are the type of guys that we were told, when we were coming up. Is this is the guy that can make you miss in a phone booth? I know for some of y'all out there, you new guys, young guys don't know what a phone booth is, but back in my day,
Right.
you had him on
That's
every
crazy.
corner. But
Sure did.
he's the kind of guy that can make you miss in a phone booth, which means if two guys are in that phone booth and one guy was trying to tackle the other one, there's not anywhere to go, but he could still make that guy miss. That's the kind of guy Devin Neal is. He's got that wiggle to him, and he's got the vision to help him see
Yeah.
before he needs to make a move, right? He's understanding where he's at on the field at all times and where everybody else is. And I love that about Devin Neal. There's other
You
guys.
know what's crazy? I was just gonna say, you know what's crazy about that? When it comes to speed, elusiveness, and vision, you have to at
Yeah.
least have two of the three.
Oh, yeah.
You can't have one of the three. You have to
Yeah.
at least have two. Right now, Pacheco has one.
Yeah. It's true.
Just
It's
saying.
true. And what didn't hurt the fact was that he came in and took over for Clyde Edwards-Helaire because of Clyde's inability to stay healthy. And that's most of the reason why he got the job. He did the job well. I can't knock that on him. His best year was his first year, I think it was. I can't remember. I think it was his first year. But the thing is that as time goes on, every year, you know, he's been injured each year. He's had to have surgery each year. And like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see what he looks like after the season. When the season
This is
starts.
why. This is why I want. We haven't. We haven't had a 1,000 yard rusher
Man,
outside of Kareem since Jamal Charles.
nope, we have not, and we need that. I think that
That was
actually would help us out a whole hell of a
that
lot on the
was
offensive side.
that was what 7 years ago, eight
Yeah,
years ago.
that's crazy.
That's insane. Mahomes
Well,
needs a bell cow. I keep saying this. He needs a guy that can give you can get a ball to 250, 80 times a year plus. Now,
yeah,
I'm not and here's the thing, people be like, "Well, Reed doesn't run the ball." Listen, I've seen Jamal Charles run the ball almost 300 times one year. I don't want to hear that. Now,
he can do it. He can do it.
granted, I get they didn't have Mahomes on the team. It's a little different, but still,
You can still do it.
you can
You
still
can
do
st-
it.
you can still do it. And on top of that, look at what it would do for Mahomes. Look at what it would do for Mahomes. So I agree with you. We need to get a
Well,
game breaker.
listen. I would listen if they get look. Look. I think it could happen. This is a real GT is he's not going to be there. Okay, that's not
No,
realistic.
no, that's not
It's like a
realistic at
miracle.
all.
Okay,
Yeah,
he's probably going to go top 15 easy
yeah.
if they can get on Marion Hampton. Listen, y'all.
Man, listen.
Listen.
Oh, here you go.
But not even just him though, because I don't. Caleb Johnson's not going in the first round.
No. And
Right. He's not.
maybe,
I
yeah, maybe
don't
not.
see
Maybe
it.
I won't say. I won't say he
I don't
will.
see it.
Yeah.
I think GNT is probably the only one that's gonna go in the first round. I'm gonna be honest with you. This draft class is so deep at running back, bro. I just don't
Uh,
see it. There's
all
the running backs really gonna start taking off that mid to like second to third round.
all
That's
it
when they
takes.
really gonna.
All it takes is the one GM who's fallen in love with a running back and says, "I don't care what we have to do. If we have to pick him in the first round, that's what we're doing." That's all it takes, right? So it just
That's it.
kind of,
Even if Hampton's not there, right?
yeah,
Like I like Brashard Smith, who you can get probably in like the fourth or fifth round.
yeah,
I
true,
like Faisal Tutton Cat. That
yeah.
A. He's not as elusive. Boy, is he fast? Oh my man, I'm about to send you some film of him.
I've seen
Cause
some of his film. He's nice. Yeah,
that boy,
yeah.
he would be him with Mahomes would be
I think no matter what
it's
you,
time, y'all. It's
I,
time. We gotta get a
I,
running back, y'all.
I think no matter what you do, you have to get a game breaker in the backfield. So that's my idea about that. So I'm not going to say too much more on it. But here's what I will say: we are going to do a defensive lineman special post combine. We're going to do that here next week. Today we just wanted to come on here talk about the situation with Thuney, what our thoughts were on it, give some insights as far as what we think the Chiefs might do in the draft. Not necessarily, what they will do, just our thoughts on what they might do. And touch base with everybody to let them know that, hey, we have officially hit 1,400 subscribers to our channel. And we want to thank everybody that has come to our channel, participated, left comments, left likes, shared our channel, shared our content. We appreciate you guys so much. We want everybody to have a good time when they come to our channel and at least come back and try to experience more of what we have to offer. Like I said, next week we will do another mock draft and we'll also do a defensive line comparison as far as post combine and see where these guys rank coming into this year's 2025 NFL draft. As for me and for Mike, we want to say thank you guys for joining us. We will see you guys again next week here in the cave. Y'all take care.